JD Majethia is an actor par excellence, producer and director of some very popular shows on Indian television. He's also the co-founder of HatsOff Productions and recently launched his acting school, HatsOff Actors Studios. And today, I have the privilege of having a short conversation with him. Thank you so much for being here with us today, JD. It's a pleasure to be having you here with us. So, when I was doing a bit of research about this interview and about yourself, I actually found out that you have an MBA specialized in marketing and you started your career in advertising and client servicing with one of the leading media companies. And then you moved on to acting and production. So, how did it all happen? Was it a conscious decision to actually start your career in television, or did it just happen by chance?
See, basically, I am an actor and I was doing theatre when I was in college. While doing my graduation, I realized that just as an actor, one will not be able to survive for a long because I come from very humble background. So I had to do a post-graduation, look at a job, and along with a secure professional career, I can look at theatre. Because those days, even theatre was not very well paying. And most of the actors were working part-time. Like they were doing a job and evening they used to rehearse, because theatre was like that. Evening you rehearse, every evening or Sundays you have shows. So you could manage it with the theatre. Television was just Doordarshan. And that was not much, just 2-3 shows. So hardly 25-30 actors were getting work. So in that scenario, I was not even looking at television. I did theatre, that was my hobby, never thought of making it into a profession. And I did my management graduation, and there I realized that whatever I do has to be in the field of, has to be a creative field. So while doing my management in marketing, I realized that advertising is one subject which I enjoy the most. So I was decided that I will take up an advertising job. But in 2 years' time, I felt that the advertising job, client servicing, has nothing to do with creativity. It was a lot like a white-collar peon. I used to take my artworks, used to take my projects, go to the client. It was at a very junior level. Go to the client, they used to do approvals or like whatever feedback, I will come and tell my seniors. So I realized that there is no creativity associated with this job either. And I stopped enjoying my job. But being in advertising agency, I got a couple of opportunities to model, to advertise. And that's where company said, you are an in-house guy, we will not pay you. I said, okay, fine. But ask the photographer to make my portfolio, free of cost. So they said, okay, fine. The photographer was also okay. When I saw my pictures and my colleagues saw my pictures, they realized I'm a very photogenic guy. They said, तू गलत फील्ड में है. एक तो तू एक्टर है and तू अच्छा एक्टर है. तो you looking good. Why don't you try films? And that caught me. Even I had that dream somewhere in my heart, and I realized I don't enjoy job. I was like a bad employee. I was finishing my work in time, but I was always cheating my company. It was demotivated. I was demotivated. I was just physically being there, mentally not there. Being the smart guy, I was to finish my work in time. And they say, क्या काम है यार? कुछ नहीं है इसमें. I was honestly, I so many times felt that I knew much more than my boss. My boss used to do so many mistakes, and I used to tell him, sir, क्या कर रहे हो? Presentation in front of the client also, he was presenting certain things. I said, sir, ये गलत है, ऐसा नहीं है, ऐसा सही बोल रहा है. So I was said, okay. I had a very funny boss. I thank my stars that I had bosses which didn't motivate me, because if they would have motivated me, I would not have been here. I would have still been advertising. So I thanked them. And I felt that this job is not for me. 1991, during that phase, ZTV started. Satellite channel, first channel. And there were scopes for television actors, but I didn't want to do television. I struggled for 10 years. So I started my own production house that time in theatre. While doing that, I had a very good and extraordinary support of a friend and now my partner, Atish Kapadia. We both did our management together. We both did jobs together in different companies, and we both almost simultaneously decided to quit our companies together, jobs together, because we felt we will do something in this field. Our first play had a major twist and turns. Now, that first production, it started off well, didn't do very good initially, and in a month's time, it became a super hit. It became a super hit, and since that day, with God's grace, I've never looked back. Now there's a history on television that what kind of work we did, Khichdi, then Sara versus Sarabhai, then Babu or Baby, and so many. I produced around 28 serials till date, and fortunately, most of them have been successful.
So that's really wonderful and that's really inspiring to hear. Now my question to you is, what kind of changes or developments have you seen in the TV industry, the kind of television shows that are being produced over the past maybe decade or so?
In terms of format, we are seeing a lot of weekly shows going daily. And even if earlier it was daily, then they were 4 days a week. Now people have made it 5 and 5 to 6 days a week, Monday to Saturday. That has seen a kind of a little degradation in terms of quality, because to produce so much of software, technically, it is little difficult to maintain that quality. Indian storytelling has got diluted, it is simplified, and that's where we have lost out on programs like Sara vs. Sara, which was such an intelligent comedy. So that is one change individually, if I can relate to.
The TV, films or theatre, which is that one medium that gives you the most satisfaction as an actor?
As an actor, theatre gives more satisfaction as an actor, but as a star, films gives you more satisfaction. TV, it is like it varies, because your show does well for a long time. You don't get much to create every day, because your character and you're doing the same thing every day. So it is fluctuating.
So, JD, you have said in an interview that Khichdi was on a peak when we took a break. The ratings were high and everybody was shocked when we wrapped up the show. So, as a businessman and as a producer, do you believe in taking calculated steps, or is everything a game of probabilities? Do you go with your gut feeling more, or you pre-plan everything out?
I take calls as per the situations. At times, very planned, very well planned, and at times I believe in taking spontaneous decisions. Also, at times, very strategic, or at times mix of both. Because in this creative field, there is no single person who can guarantee success. Be it a big time filmmakers, or best of television writers or producers, or best of theatre directors and writers or actors. Nobody can guarantee a good product.
You know, in terms of the success rate, for you, how important is appreciation, recognition, awards? How much do they matter in your life?
Success, very, very important, because success allows you to survive for a long time. Acceptability, success is a form of acceptance. So whatever you do, you always want it to be accepted. The basis is that. So I would define success in these two. And when you start, you are on a good note, you want to grow. So success also helps you grow in terms of when it is accepted widely, you grow bigger, then there is kind of fund flowing and the kind of infrastructure and technical aspects and lot of other things, creative teams and whatever we require to go bigger and make bigger projects which you dream of. It helps achieve all that. That is very, very important.
So sir, tell me, why are you always donning a hat? Is there some association with the hat you're wearing?
My company's name is HatsOff Productions. HatsOff Productions. But no, it's not the reason that I don a hat because of that. But that's a strange coincidence. I went for a show as an actor, a participant called Survivor. Now Survivor India, first time. What they offered us one beautiful thing was that everybody was offered one headgear. And I realized that there are 20 people. And if you were to choose a headgear, I said, give me a hat. Because I felt that sun will be, a top sun will be very difficult to survive. So I asked them for a hat, then nobody else had chosen hat. People took caps and bandana and whatnot. So I asked for a hat, they gave me. So when I came here, I became like I lost 15 kgs, become like this long grey and salt and pepper beard and all. But that look, it gave me a fantastic look. And I tried to be without hat for a couple of days, but I was feeling incomplete. Somewhere I thought I went for haircut, colored my hair, shaved off my beard, and but somewhere I was feeling really incomplete. And since that day, I never felt like keeping the hat off.
You know, Mr. JD, you come across as a very flamboyant person, very optimistic about things. What is your driving force? What is it that gets you going all the time?
I look at life very positively. Anything and everything positively. I am inspired by my parents. The upbringing has been like that. And then my friends and my partner, Atish Kapadia, is one of the strongest support. And as I said, positivity. I believe that this life itself is a blessing.
Media or outside media, do you see yourself doing anything else apart from acting, producing, filmmaking, storytelling? Or
see, I'm doing almost everything. Like I sit and write scripts at time. I'm a creative director. I take part in every aspect of making this. So if I have to be in this field only and decide an alternative career, then there's one thing which I enjoy the most is writing. Because it is just being with myself, creating something. Though it's a very tough profession, but I enjoy writing. When I write good, I'm like on cloud 9. Apart from media, if I had to make a career, then second thing would be sports, cricket.
Sports, you're
I would have loved to see myself as a cricketer.
Nice.
Yeah, because I enjoy playing cricket, and sports was always like I enjoyed from childhood.
Who was your greatest inspiration?
My parents.
They have the biggest influence in your life.
Oh yes, because whatever I've learned from my mother and my storytelling comes from my mother. My mother has been a very good storyteller, and I don't know whether she realizes that or not. And a very religious family. My parents are very religious. They're right now living in Mathura and surviving in a very tough condition. Both of them are living alone. And my father has been a very honest, hardworking, generous businessman. We had a very one simple shop. But my father was very hardworking, very honest, and he taught me certain good principles, which was very moralistic for business, and that has kept me a very good business. I'm today very happy and satisfied that my father had said one principle: किसी का भी एक रुपया ले मत लेना, किसी को दे दिया would be a better equation in life. You'll be always happy and satisfied. So that has always kept me very honest and a good paymaster. As a producer, it's a very tough job because your job is to give money to people. Most of them are dissatisfied or not satisfied, and you're dealing with. So certain theories have always helped me, and people working with me, majority of them have been very happy and satisfied. And I fortunately enjoy a good goodwill in the industry. So. And a lot of business policies, keeping the cost down, simple lifestyle, I've inherited from my father. And from my mother, as I said, story. My mother was a super storyteller. When I was a child, she used to tell me stories, which she used to, enact in such a way, without even realizing. So I used to go and tell those stories in my school classes. That made me a star of the school. And everybody, my teachers would also say, come on, you come up. Those free time in school. So I started telling stories more and more, and then from there I started then my mother's stories got over, and I joined a library. I started reading good stories. I started narrating those stories. When those stories got over, I started watching films in my school. So many films I used to watch, and then I used to come and narrate those films in my school classes. I used to enjoy. So I became a storyteller, which is my profession today. I inherit that from my mother. So those two are the biggest inspirations.
If you had to describe your life in one word at this stage, what would it be and why?
A roller coaster.
A roller coaster. All
I
right.
find a roller coaster.
Thank you so much, JD, for your time. I had
Thank
a
you.
lovely time chatting with you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.